Hi friends, this is Carmen. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. It's been a hot minute since I sat in front of the camera and talked to you guys, and I've got lots to tell you, lots of updates to give, and lots to share, so let's get to it. So, as you saw from the footage at the beginning of the video, we made that 2,300 mile trip across the United States from Phoenix to Orlando, just outside of Orlando. And it was a trip, let me tell you, in every sense of the word. It had been quite a long time. I think I made that type of cross-country trip when I was in like my teens, when I was 14 or 15 with my parents. But coming across the country with a big truck full of all of your belongings, towing a trailer, another car full of animals, and yourself, it was quite the challenge. I'm not going to lie to you. There were times when I was praying, Lord, get us through this. Please intervene, take the wheel, you know, because there were times where it was truly rough. I have to hand it, need to say right away, I have to hand it to my son-in-law, Lucas. He drove that truck the entire time. He wouldn't let us drive it, and he said he could do it, and he did through the entire trip. That's Rosie drinking down here. I hope you can't hear her. Rosie, are you done drinking water? Can I go ahead and continue filming? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Darn dog. You know, there were major cities that we had to go through, downtown areas with this truck. There was one point, I will let you know this, there was one point where we were at a gas station that was kind of like a truck stop and car gas station, and we got ourselves into an area where we had to back up, and it was very difficult for him to back up. I ended up asking one of the truck drivers, can you please help us get this truck out of here so we can, you know, be on our way? And there was a very, very nice young man. I didn't get his name, but God knows who he is, and he brought him to us and helped us get that truck backed out and on our way, because we would have not been able to get out of there. But we finally made it to our home, and we did hire helpers pretty much there in Phoenix. When we were loading up the truck, we hired loading help, and I hired unloading help here because I knew that we were just going to be too dead tired to unload this truck ourselves. And I'm so glad that I spent that extra money in doing that, because it saved us a ton of time and our backs. And we've been in the house now going on 2 weeks. It is, you know, we're getting used to it. I'm unpacking boxes one at a time, because this trip did really, it was hard on me physically, you know, with my fibromyalgia and my diabetes and everything. I've been having a little bit of a rough go of it as far as recovery time and exhaustion and things like that. But I've just been taking my time and getting acclimated to my new home and getting my body back to where it needs to be, and doing one box at a time. And that's, you know, how I'm going to do it. It's not like I'm in a hurry to get everything unboxed, and so I'm not going to worry about it. But like I said, we're getting used to things. We're getting used to the neighborhood. The kids this week have started their jobs, their first full week of jobs. We're so grateful that each of them has found jobs in what they were doing before, basically. My daughter in a very wonderful animal hospital, and my son-in-law in a great law firm, and they're each making more money than they were before, so it all worked out beautifully, and they seem to really like their jobs so far. So I'm so thankful for that they are happy that, because that's a huge, you know, undertaking for them in leaving jobs that they kind of liked, and not knowing what was ahead of them, but having faith in God that he was going to give them something better. And sure enough, he really did give them something better. Now, I do want to let you know some of the things that I did bring and didn't bring with me. You know, I obviously brought things that were in my storage center over in Phoenix, got all my things out of storage finally, and we've kind of combined households and combined things that we had. I had things they didn't have and vice versa. We did have to buy a new washer here, which we did right away. But I didn't bring all of my plants, and I'll show you a picture here of the back of the truck and all of our stuff stuffed into this back of this 22-foot truck. And, you know, there was only so much room I had. And I did not have room for my plants inside of the car. I didn't want to put them inside of the car that was on the trailer because it would get way too hot. So we decided to put them at the very edge of the truck. That way I would be able to open up the truck ramp thing and get some air into them and some light and things like that. But although the top of the truck had like a fiberglass thing that let light in anyways. But as we went along the way, I was checking on them and they did fine. I brought the ones that were the most sentimental value to me, ones that I would not easily find here, that were not easily replaceable here, and ones that were not too big because I only had so much room. So, you know, I will have an upcoming tour of my patio area and the plants that I have there, because I have pretty much all of my plants except for a couple back here. You see Terry and Mark back there. I did bring them. But I do have the rest of my plants out on the patio, which is unusual for me because in Phoenix, I was only able to keep my cacti and succulents outside. The Phoenix weather was not cohesive with my tropical plants, but here, they love it. And I did bring some of my cacti and succulents, the ones that really meant the most to me. And I will be able to purchase other plants here that are easily replaceable, that I can find much more readily here in the Orlando area, tropical plants and things like that, that I can find here. And, you know, I didn't feel so bad as far as leaving some of the other ones there. I left my mom with a wonderful collection. She's very, very happy with the plants that I left her, and her collection is doing marvelous. I left many, many plants for my son and his wife. They are now full-fledged planty people and have most of my, I would say about 90% of my cacti and balcony collection I left for them. I did leave them some indoor tropical plants that were a little too big, like my bird of paradise and my monstera deliciosa. I didn't bring those. I left it for them. And but those are ones that I can easily replace here. So those will be upcoming videos as I replenish my collection with you know, new plants and replacement plants and such. So that's to do with the plants. I brought Rosie, of course, and you know, the kids brought Sam. Excuse me, the kids brought Sam, the dog that used to live with us and is theirs now, and they brought their 2 cats, the rabbit and a gecko. I did not bring Georgie, my little Yorkshire Terrier, and that was truly a last-minute decision not to bring Georgie. Up until the morning we were leaving, I had the full intention of bringing Georgie. I, you know, had the back seat of my car set up that the 3 dogs were going to be there, and that was my intention. That morning, Sam had, you know, he had spent some time with Georgie before, and they seemed to get along. But that morning, Sam and Georgie got into a little bit of a tussle. Sam's a bigger dog, and they got into a little bit of a tussle, and Georgie was quite frightened. At that point, my mom and I kind of looked at each other and said, you know what? 4 or 5 days on the road with these two in the back seat, I'm not going to put Georgie through that. So I made the really tough decision of leaving little Georgie with my mom, and with the intention that whoever comes visit me first on an airplane will bring Georgie with them. It will more than likely be my son and his wife when they come in the fall, and bring Georgie with them. I will pay to have them bring him with them. But I didn't want to put the little guy through that 4-day trip in the backseat of a car with other dogs. He's just too little, too young. He's only 6 months old. So as much as it pained me to leave him, I know now that it was the right thing to do, because it was a tough trip for the animals, and for us humans, I can only imagine how it would have been for little Georgie. So I miss the little booger so much. You know, I really got attached to him, and I really miss him, but he is having a heck of a time with his brother Willie, and grandma is, you know, spoiling him rotten and taking care of him. And I believe it'll be my son and daughter-in-law that will be bringing him in the fall. So it'll be soon enough that I can see him again, and he'll be here. You know, a 4-hour flight is much easier than a 4-day road trip, and he'll be much easier on him for that. So, you know, those are the updates. We're getting used to the home, we're getting used to the neighborhood and where things are. I'm getting used to the afternoon rain showers here. Every afternoon about 1:30, I hear the thunder and the clouds roll in and pouring rain. It was raining just a little bit ago. And that is unusual for me, because it doesn't come with really heavy wind. It's not a monsoon like it is in Phoenix in the summertime, and even then we don't get them. It's certainly not dust storms. I don't miss those. But the weather here is not as bad as people led me to believe. Yes, it's only June. You know, I haven't gone through the full summer yet, but I checked the weather conditions in Phoenix this week, and it's already 115 there. Yeah, that is hot. And even if they say it's a dry heat, it is a vaporizing heat, let me tell you. The humidity here, I'm getting accustomed to it. My hair is loving it. And, you know, I'm getting used to that. The evenings, though, it really cools off. And that's one thing that I love it here so much, is that there's a breeze in the evening once the sun goes down, where you don't have that in Phoenix. It stays hot because there's just so much concrete there or something. We're a little bit out in the country here, and it does get very nice and breezy in the evenings and cooler. So that I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to that. I do have planned for you not only the shop with me trips and replacing my plants and how I've got things set up in the patio, but I do plan on doing some decorate with me videos, how I've set up things and some projects that I have in mind, and particularly painting this dining room set that's behind me. This is an old dining room set that my mom had for many, many years. She's passed it on to my daughter. We've decided to paint it, kind of give it a new stain and some paint. But also, I've decided to use some of that peel and stick wallpaper in some areas. This is a rental, so I can't do anything permanent, but I can do some peel and stick type of decor and, you know, decorate it, put our own little touch on it that we can take off when we decide to leave this home. But otherwise, we're really, really loving living here in this house. We each have our own space. We have our common areas that we come together, have our own privacy, and, you know, I'm loving it so far. But I will give you tours of all of that later on, so stay tuned for those things. But that's it, friends. That's my updates that I have, and we're all doing good. We're all all safe and sound and happy, and I miss my parents so much. I really do. I talk to them every other day, but I'm looking forward to them visiting. If you haven't already, friends, please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe so you don't miss any of my other update videos. And as I decorate the new home and as I replenish my collection, I want to take you along, so you want to make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video, okay? Have a wonderful day. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much, friends. I'll see you in the next video.